Hi, stamping friends. It's time to learn how to make these beautiful watercolored roses. You'll remember I put a sneak peek of these on my blog a few days ago and your response was overwhelming. You couldn't wait to learn how to make these. So now it's time for a video tutorial to show you how to make them. The flower that was used is this rose from the Fifth Avenue floral set, and it's stamped on shimmery white paper. Let's see if I can get a good view of this. It's hard to see. On the shimmery white, it's stamped in white craft ink, and then it's embossed in clear embossing powder. So it's really hard to see because it's white on white, but it's there. So again, shimmery white cardstock, white ink, clear embossing powder, heat embossed so that it's raised, okay? And while I'm getting set up here, I just want to tell you that I learned this technique from Crystal French. She was the one that originated it, and it was shared at the Seattle Stampin' Up! Regional by Connie Ingram. So that's where I got these instructions, and I'll just show you my interpretation of how to make these. I took one of our plastic Stampin' Up! Cases and I cut the lid off so that I made myself a little tray here, and it's because I'm going to be using a spray bottle with water to saturate the image, and I didn't want to saturate my entire work surface, so I thought I'll just put it in a tray like this. And the spray bottle is just something you would get at in the travel section at a drugstore, so it's easy to find, and it's just water. So I'm going to spritz the entire image, and remember this was heat embossed with the clear embossing powder, so the image is actually raised in there. And then on this lid here, this is just a Cool Whip lid, very expensive piece of equipment here. I have drops of re-inker, so I've taken my re-inker bottles and I've labeled here. I've got PIP, that's Pretty in Pink, I'm sure everybody knows that. Pink Pirouette, Summer Sun, Regal Rose, and Coral. And those are the colors that I used for my projects. But you could really do any color combinations. There's infinite colors that you could do for roses because they come in so many colors. Then I've got my aqua painter, and over here on just an old washcloth, I'm just squeezing it to get the water running. And then what I'm going to do is dab it here into my Regal Rose ink. And then I'm going to actually zoom in here a little bit so that hopefully you can see this a little bit better. I don't know. When you touch the ink to the wet rose, the wet paper with the rose image, you can see what it's doing. It's just spreading. So you can see that it just spreads. And the more concentration of ink that you have, of course, the darker that area is going to be. Now, if you wanted it really light, you can use either a lighter color, or you can squeeze off a lot of the ink and you just use more water and use it more as a wash. So I'm going to squeeze out the red that I was using there, the Regal Rose, and I'm going to pick up some Summer Sun ink over here, and then I'm going to touch my aqua painter to some of the other areas that I hadn't added color to yet. So now I've got some that are kind of yellow, the Summer Sun color, and some that are red. And then what I can also do is go ahead and add some of the Summer Sun into the sections that already had the Regal Rose. And when that spreads and combines, then you get kind of a pretty corally color there. I don't know why this is kind of looking greenish on the camera. Trust me, it looks much better in person. And now I'm going to get some Pretty in Pink and just touch in here to those last few areas that didn't have any color. And then the last thing that I did to any area that had kind of too much water is I just dabbed my aqua painter into that and let it soak up a little bit of that extra water so that it wasn't too runny. So that looks pretty good. And then as I let it dry, I tilted it. so that the color would concentrate down onto to the bottom, down into the bottom of each section. And so then as that dries, you can see that you get a darker coloring down into the bottom of each section, and it's really striking. Now don't worry if some of your color goes out here like this did, because this rose is going to get cut out around the embossed edge and then mounted onto the project. So don't worry about any spreading that you might get like that. And you can see that I've used some different color combinations. On this particular one, I didn't add any summer sun. This is just some regal rose and pretty in pink, so that you get more of just the rose tones. And then of course you can add more of the summer sun and get some of the additional peachier tones that like say the Peace Rose or the Princess Diana of Wales rose might have. So those are some real pretty options for you. One thing I did was I just used some of the photos from my garden that I had taken, and I used those as inspiration for how I might want to color these roses. So if you need help with thinking about colors, you can look on the internet or in a garden, your neighbor's garden, whatever. This is the finished project that we're doing in our 6x6 technique book class this week. And it's a 6x6 page on pink pirouette cardstock. And then this top note die is cut out of the white striped paper from the Taste of Textiles package, and it's really pretty and shimmery, so it goes with the shimmery cardstock that the rose has been watercolored on, and I thought that was a nice combination. And then these are die cut leaves with the Big Shot and one of our Sizzlets. So can you see that close up there? You get all those real pretty shades. Some of the colors have bled together, and then some of them are just separate in each little section of the flower. But I'm just having so much fun with this technique. It's just really fun to work with. So I thank Crystal for coming up with this idea, and for Connie for sharing it, and for Sandy for putting it on the Yahoo group. And I hope you have fun when you try it.